Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be unboxing my Ninja Specialty Coffee Maker. I am really excited about it just because I kind of love me a little bit of coffee. So I'm excited to see what all this machine can do here. I know it can do a few different things, and I'll be excited to be able to demonstrate that for you all as well. So obviously, as most of you know, I like to do it upside down to get it out of the box. So yes, on the box itself it says you can do 4 different brew styles. So you can do classic, rich, over ice, and specialty. It has a fold-away built-in frother and 9 ground brew sizes. That's pretty awesome. 4 pod brew sizes, which that helps me a lot too, because sometimes if I don't want just a whole carafe of coffee, just one little cup does just perfect for me. I'm going to go grab some scissors. Alright, so yeah, I am excited because yeah, sometimes you just need that little pick-me-up, even like in the afternoon. I'll have a cup every now and then, and you know, instead of having to brew the whole entire pot or even just half a pot, it's nice to have the option of being able just to do a KCup. So you obviously have comes with a little decent amount of cone coffee filters, so that's good for you to know. I believe it looks like there's at least 3 in here that I can see, so it's good for you to start your brew system. And obviously your owner's guide, and this is the CFP 300 series, just in case anybody wants to know that. And obviously your quick start guide plus some recipes, so I'll probably be thumbing through that here once I get it out of the box. And for the sake of not knowing what that is, okay, see, that's what I get for looking at this. So right inside your quick start guide is, here's what's in the box, and this is your frother whisk. Obviously I didn't even know they made these, so now you know how much I know about coffee, or specialty coffee. But yeah, so here's this little guy. He's pretty interesting, and it has a little lock and unlock symbol, I should say, sorry, on the side of that, so obviously that'll lock and unlock into place once we get the machine out. Get the cord out of the way. There. So obviously you see your water reservoir here. And this is your pod adapter, so it says lift to open, and there's where you would put your K-cup in. And it says the brew basket must always be inserted when brewing pods or grounds. So there's that nifty little tip for you. And I think I'm not going to mess with that right now, because I don't want to mess it up. So for the sake of unboxing, we'll just get that part done, and then I'll play around with this here in a little bit. So yes, very well packaged. Which is good, especially if you get it shipped to your house. If you don't have access to get to a store or whatever where they sell these, you'll know that it's well packaged. Okay, so there's the carafe. And let's see what other fun little, here's your little fold out tray for your cup. And you just lift that back up out of the way there. And so I'm gonna get you guys up close here, so once I get everything untaped and everything, I'm gonna go through the manual just so I can read everything and give you the proper definition and explanation of everything. This is your fold out frother, it looks like to me. So this is when you'll insert your little frother whisk, but again, I'm going to go through the manual before I do any of that. And you have your coffee scoop that has its own little place here on the side, so that's really convenient to just have everything all together. And I'm just going to take this, and it says always measure with level scoops of a medium grind size. Use fewer scoops when brewing decaf coffee. So there you go. There's a nice little helpful tip for you. Alright, so I think it's safe to say I have everything unboxed here. So I'm going to go through the manual and see if I can't get everything all cleaned out and ready to brew some coffee. I wanted to demonstrate really quick the difference in doing a KCup pod versus ground coffee. So if you're going to do just a single cup of coffee, all you have to do is lift to open here, and then you'll just insert your KCup pod right there. And if you want to do like regular coffee, the directions on the lid are pretty simple. You push back and then you just lift up on the side here, and then you take that all the way off. And this is when you put in your coffee filter with your coffee grounds. Once you have that all in place, you slide this closed, and then your machine is ready to brew regular coffee. So I just wanted to do that before I started getting into it and confusing anybody. So, and then once you're ready to go back to regular K-cups, you just pull that and lock it into place right there, and you're ready to rock and roll with your K-cups. Alright, so I went ahead and rinsed out the water reservoir along with the filter basket and the scoop, the frother whisk, and obviously your carafe. I went ahead and got all that cleaned out and ready to go for the first initial brew. So I'm gonna go ahead, because like I said in the instructions, this brew basket has to be inserted all the time. And so I just am curious to see if I need to do that and before I actually brew a regular cup of coffee. And so I live in a high altitude climate. I am not going to do the high calibration or the high altitude calibration just yet, because I want to get my machine all primed and ready to go. And so on page 8 of your owner's guide, plug the brewer in and turn it on by pressing the power button. Lift the water reservoir. Okay, I already added water. And I filled it up to the very top. And so we are not going to use the adapter to brew our first regular pot of coffee. So I'm going to take that off and just pull the lid shut like so. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and then I'll let you guys take a look at what I see here. Maybe. Okay. Let me get you guys up close here so you can see. So this is what your Ninja coffee brewer looks like when it's plugged in. It is all touchscreen, as you can see. So, and there is your fill line for the water reservoir. And so I believe we're just going to turn it on. I know I did that, and then I closed the book when I got you guys down here, so bear with me for just a second. Alright, so yeah, priming. I'm looking at step 4 here, remove the pod, then using the handles on the, okay, it's telling you how to just remove it. We want to get to the brew part. After the adapter is moved, slide the sliding lid. Okay, do not place ground coffee directly in the brewer basket without a filter. That's obviously. Okay, with everything in place and the brewer powered on, turn the dial to select full carafe size and brew style. I will show you too, this is the little button I was talking about earlier. So this, if you push it to this one, that's just for hot water. And so we're just going to do the grounds unless this specifies other. But it says turn on the dial and select full size carafe. Okay, and the brew style to classic. Whoa, see, look at that. All because I switched the dial. Classic, and you see our little coffee bean there. And we're going to move our dial over to full carafe. Just like that. And then brew style. And you see that it's open, ready to go here. And you push it in for it to start brewing. And you see the little dial here on the little display here. So it is going to start brewing our water at any moment here. So while it's thinking about it, oh, let's see, things are happening. I don't know if y'all can see, but we are doing a little bit of brewing there. Yep, I hear it now. And so yeah, obviously you can see a little bit of steam, but alright, so it's gonna do its thing here. And discard the water and rinse the carafe out. And then ready to go. So yeah, I'm gonna let this do its thing here. I do like the display, I actually do. And see now your little heating plate down there is on. And so it's gonna keep it nice and hot for you. I do like it though. It's really, I like the design a lot. And obviously the knob turn dial is really user friendly so far. We'll see if it changes once I actually get into the coffee making process. But yeah, I'm gonna let this do its thing and I'll be back when it's done. Alright, so we are all done. As you can see, we have brewed the full carafe of water and it's switched over to the keep warm function. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it off. Touchscreen to turn it off was fantastic, super easy. So we are ready to brew some coffee. Alright, so we are ready to move on to brewing some coffee here. I am only going to do about half a pot, so as you can see I filled it to the half pot line there. Also a really neat feature that I stumbled across in the manual is you can move your water reservoir. So if you don't want it here on the side, you can actually move it around to the back of the machine there, but I will do that after I do some coffee here. So, and as you see, since we did just do the water, your hot plate is still hot. So let me sit you guys back up here and we'll get ready to brew some coffee here. So I went ahead and got one of the paper filters out. Go ahead and fluff it open a little bit. Alright. And for the sake of doing the little spoon that it comes with, it says for 3 to 5 cups you use 1 scoop of like the bigger end here. So I'm going to just do 1 big scoop. You can obviously add more if you want. So I'm going to do a nice heaping scoop of my Folgers coffee here. That's what we like. Okay. Set that off to the side. Slide, oops. I want to make sure we're all in here. Okay, good. I'm going to slide it shut because we're ready to go here. And I still have the knob on the other side of the machine set to the coffee, so we're just going to turn it on. And here we all are, all ready to go. I'm going to turn my dial over to the half carafe here. So we're looking at 37 ounces, so that's pretty neat if you want to know exactly how many ounces you're brewing. and your little knob down here at the bottom says we're still open, so we're not gonna have any drips or anything like that. So I'm gonna start the brew, and it's gonna go do its thing. As you can see, we're lighting up there on the end. So yeah, I'm gonna read a little bit more on how to configure the water pitcher and get it moved to the back. So we'll be back in just a little bit. So we are done brewing our coffee in the Ninja Dualbrew Pro here. And I went ahead and moved the little latch over to closed, because if you leave it open, it might drip everywhere. And so for the sake of no drips, and plus if you want to have a cup of coffee before it's done brewing, that is how you would do that, is just move the little lever over. And that way you don't end up with a little mess. Yeah, that is how you do some regular ground coffee in the Ninja. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to move the water reservoir from the side over to the back here. First thing is you take off the water reservoir here and set it off to the side. And it's really not very easy to see, but there is a little latch right down here. Let me see if I can just move it around so y'all can get a view here and what I'm trying to do. Okay, that's much better. So this little latch, you're going to open it, but for the sake of doing it while y'all can see it, I'm gonna just readjust my camera really quick, so give me just a second. Alright, hopefully that's gonna make it a little bit easier for y'all to see me, but I'm just gonna hold on to the top of the machine while I push this little piece in, and you actually take it completely out. And then it says, according to the manual, you might feel a little bit resistance, but that's normal. And as you see, that's just how that works there. And then it says you just come around the other side and put your little piece back in here. And that is as simple as it gets. And then you can just put your water reservoir back on the back there. I'm going to give you a better view here. So that's kind of neat to be able to, for countertop space, like if you need to move it, you can switch between which side you want it on. So yeah, that's how you move your water reservoir. Alright, so I am ready to go ahead and brew a single cup of coffee using a KCup pod. So I did go ahead and fill the water reservoir to the single cup line, and I'll show you guys here just so you can see it. So that's filled up, the line's kind of right there, so I'm pretty close. And we are ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and fold down my little tray so I can sit my cup on there. And I think that's going to sit there pretty good. And we're going to go ahead and open that. And let me grab a pod here. Go ahead and put that in there. And now I'm going to let you guys see what the screen looks like. So this is what it looks like when it's powered off and the little latch is closed. We're going to go ahead and turn it on. I'm going to go ahead and open it. And this little cup, you see it already changed to the pod. And it's basically ready to go here. I do believe my cup is an 8 ounce, so I'm going to turn the dial to 8. I'm going to leave everything as far as the brew style and everything. So here we go. That shouldn't take too terribly long, so we'll just kind of hang out and watch it and do its thing here. I do like the convenience of having your choice between doing a carafe or just a regular K-cup. And the being able to move the water reservoir, that is probably one of the biggest features that I like. It doesn't make a huge difference, but at the same time, like, that's a pretty neat feature that I haven't seen in other models yet. So, and you can do obviously different sizes of coffee mugs and everything too. You can even do travel mugs. You would just sit it on the actual heating plate versus the little tray that folds down here. So I will say too that I did go through more of the regular guide, and you will not be able to brew or froth any hot milk. So it will not do that. It'll froth cold milk, and if you want frothed hot milk, you have to heat your milk in the microwave first. But that's something that we can get to here shortly. So, but that is how you brew a KCup pod in your Ninja Dualbrew Pro. So I know I just told you all about that. I just wanted you guys to see it in the actual quick start guide. That you can froth milk, but if you want it cold, that's fine. We can just froth it right away. If you want hot, you have to microwave it first for a little bit. So, but that's kind of how you do that in your Ninja Dualbrew Pro, and I will get some of it going here in just a second. So I am going to be making a cappuccino style coffee now. Obviously there's your ingredients. And so per directions, we are going to get your coffee ready to go first. I do have my little half cup of milk right there that I'm going to be putting in my coffee mug here in just a second. I know it says 12-ounce cup. My cup is a 10-ounce cup, so we're going to see if I can try to not make a huge mess while I'm doing this here. So, for the sake of what we're doing here, we're going to go ahead and put our coffee filter in. And get our couple scoops of coffee here before we go ahead and heat up our milk in the microwave. So, go ahead and set that there. And it says 2 big scoops. So, obviously, big scoops would be this guy. And we're going to do 2 of them. Which that seems like a heck of a lot of coffee. So, I'm going to just do 1. And 2. Go ahead and put that back over there where it goes. I'm going to go ahead and slide that closed, so we'll be ready to go here. But for the sake of the recipe, step number 2 says to pour your milk in your mug, even though I just made a mess. And I'm going to go heat this in my microwave for about a minute. Alright, so we are ready to move on to the froth part of the recipe. And so, I'm going to see if I can get this locked into place. Alright, and we are locked into place here. And it's going to be probably hard to see me frothing this, but there is my milk. So, and it says to froth for 30 seconds. And yeah, this is going to be, I want you guys to be able to see this. So, let me see if I can maneuver my coffee and my video camera a little bit better for you. So I went ahead and I got everything ready to froth here. So I am just going to push the little power button on here, but I wanted you guys to see. So I'm going to put you guys back up here and make sure that you kind of can see what I'm doing here. Hopefully this will work out just perfect. Scoot back just a little bit. Alright. And we're just going to froth the milk for about 30 seconds. So here we go.
When you serve a boar's head sweet slice ham, something magical happens.
So when you are frothing, you actually just push the button down and hold it. You don't have to just push it on once. It actually just does its thing as you're holding down the button. So I'm gonna go ahead and twist this off since I'm done with it. Then move it over to my sink really quick. And now we're gonna do the brew part. So I'm gonna fold that back into place and situate my Ninja here a little bit better. I'm gonna see if this will actually fit under here. It does. So my 10-ounce mug actually does fit just fine underneath on the little tray without having to set it on the actual heating plate. And we are brew style, we are specialty, so we're going to move it over to specialty. And I am going to see if I can adjust, because it says 4 ounce. And so that looks like that's going to be it. It's just 4 ounces, which is fine. I'm going to make sure my little latch is in the open position, which it is. And I'm going to hit start. And I will show you what it looks like when it's all done, because obviously you can't hardly see what's going on there. So I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, so it is all done here. I'm going to go ahead and close the latch just so we don't drip any coffee. Oh wow. Alright. And that is how you make the cappuccino style coffee in your Ninja Dualbrew Coffee Pro. Alright, so now I am going to move on to brewing some coffee over ice. And it's really neat. I actually didn't know this myself personally, but in the owner's manual on page 14 in one of the little notes, it says over ice brew is designed to produce a concentrated brew into a vessel filled with ice. It is normal for some ice in the vessel to melt as the coffee is brewed, and this will produce a cold beverage with the ideal strength and flavor. So I just learned something new today. And yeah, so I do have my ice cubes right here. I'm going to probably put a couple good scoops in here for my mug. I know you don't see my mug here, but I do have one that I'm going to grab in just a minute. And I'm using the smaller side of the scoop since I'm doing just a single cup, and I'm going to do 2 scoops just for fun. And put that back over there. Get my coffee out of the way here. Gonna have to slide that shut since we're ready. And I'm gonna fill my mug with ice here. And you can pick whatever type of mug you want. I'm just doing this coffee mug just because that's something I have handy at the moment. So let's see if I can get my cubes in here. And it's weird because every once in a while, yes, I do like some cold coffee, so having the ability to do an over ice brew in this machine is wonderful. I find it to be nice and convenient, especially if you're on a hot day or something like that and you just want something nice and cold and you still want, you know, your coffee and all that. So anyways, as you see, my cup is now full of ice. I'm going to sit it under here, and then I'm going to let you guys come up and see what I'm doing here. And so according to the manual here, for the over ice brew, we are going to go ahead and turn it on and then press your brew style. So you can power that on and move it to over ice, and you see my ice in there and it's open, and obviously we're not brewing a full carafe. So, and my cup I know is a 10-ounce cup, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to hit the start button, and it beeped because it was getting ready to do stuff. And I did fill it just, you'll see it's just a hair below the cup line here, so I'm just gonna wait and see if we can't watch it do some brewing here. You can hear it making some noise, so things are getting ready to happen here. I have to say, we actually have, while this is brewing, I just want to come over here and do a short comparison here. We have this Keurig model, and I love it, except for this one fact. When I pour a regular cup of coffee, this stupid thing causes coffee to go everywhere. And I find it to be the most inconvenient part of this whole system. Otherwise, I love it. I love being able to brew regular coffee, and then you can do your K-cups on this side. But I noticed with this model, this Ninja here, the only annoying part that I find is just having to take out the actual pod adapter. Otherwise, this is definitely worth the money. I would definitely spend money on it if I was watching this. I do like all the features it has, like, you know, you can change if you just want to brew some hot water instead. I love the frother option as well, and the convenient scoop holder, and then obviously being able to maneuver your water reservoir. I like it in this position just for my particular counter space, and it definitely takes up less space, as you could see, you know, comparing it to my Keurig over there. He takes up a little bit more space just because it's a little bit wider. But yeah, oh, there we go.
What a treat it is to see you. Look at him smile. He couldn't get enough of me. Where's Sheldon? If you're interested, an old friend of mine is giving a lecture next week on the mathematics of robotic communication.
And that is how you brew over ice in your Ninja Dualbrew Pro. And yeah. That is really good. Even with just the 2 scoops that I put in there. It said you can do like 2 to 3 scoops, but I feel like the 2 scoops for me was just perfect. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys how to do that.